What is going on? We got another beautiful episode of Lakers Talk Daily. Unfortunately, the Lakers had that complete meltdown in the second half against the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James' homecoming. We got a lot of stuff going on in regards to Lakers. Of course, LeBron, where will he be at come this summertime? You know the trade deadline is approaching. We're going to keep on throwing out different names. We're going to get your guys' opinions on whether the Lakers should be aggressive come trade deadline. And then also, we've seen what happened during the post game. We've seen Jalen Tyson's comments about this is Donovan Mitchell City. We're going to get into a little bit of fun discussion about that. But of course, we got a special guest with us today. The one, the only, the host of Locked On Lakers. You also can see him on Lakers Talk, which we could never seem to figure out what day we're always going to be on because we got so much stuff going on in our station. But of course, I'm very, very grateful to have Andy Kamenetzky joining us today on Lakers Talk Daily. What's going on, AK?
What's up, my dude? Happy to be here, man.
Look, we always been discussing about the Lakers and their second half woes and what are they going to do to fix those second half issues. And boy, it looked good in that first half. They look really good. They're clicking in all cylinders.
First quarter. I thought the first quarter.
First quarter?
The second quarter started providing a preview of where the third quarter and the second half was heading.
Look, I just want to honestly let's just get straight into that game because we know we're really limited on time. First quarter looked really good, and then we see what happened when Luka Doncic tried to shoot that three on the left wing, and of course he goes out with a little injury, was able to return. You can still see that he was grimacing throughout the whole game, and then I feel like at that point things are going to turn real quick because he wasn't able to be as aggressive enough. You started to see the meltdown a little bit started to trickle down as far as the course of the game started to go. LeBron James did not have a great night. He had 6 turnovers himself. He wasn't really getting to the paint. I feel like the Cleveland Cavaliers did a great job of adjusting come the second half. And Lakers, I believe, were only down by 2 going into halftime or up by 2, down by 2 going into halftime. And then what me, you, and a lot of people discuss is that when it comes to the second half, for some reason, the Lakers struggle and they don't come out strong right from the start. They always come out flat-footed. So I feel like the biggest thing is, of course, they did not get the production they needed from Rui Hachimura last night. Jared Allen was killing them on the glass. The Lakers were getting killed rebounding. What are your thoughts on last night's game?
I mean, it was both a pattern of things that we've seen before. We've seen this team be vulnerable guarding three-point line, and the Cavs shot 39% for the game, which is like good, but it's not incredible until you think about that they shot in the first quarter 27% rounding up, meaning from that point onward, they were killing it. In the third quarter, they shot 58%. They had 60 points in the paint. The Lakers turned the ball over 16 times. I want to say Cleveland had 23 points off those turnovers. They had 14 offensive rebounds, and offensive rebounds were really the thing keeping the Cavaliers in the game in the first quarter and the first half when the Lakers were outplaying them for parts of that. They had, I believe, 17 second chance points. So all of these different areas where we've seen the Lakers be vulnerable, this was a repeating of that pattern. I also think it was very specific and singular in that the emotions of this game for LeBron, I think, affected him during the game. You know, the first quarter tribute video that they played for LeBron, you could see the emotion. I mean, he was actually wiping tears away on the bench. He was wiping tears away on the court. I think this affected him in ways that he did not expect heading into this game. Like, I don't think he was prepared for his own reaction. And I think that took LeBron out of his own game. And the Lakers need LeBron to be playing well in order to win games, especially when Luka misses a chunk of the first half and may be physically compromised, at least in that moment, because of the ankle tweak. So I think it was both a pattern of what we've seen. I think it was also a very specific storyline in Cleveland, which launches a bunch of other questions.
I just don't understand when it comes to them, specifically the Lakers. And it's always just the second half that really, really bothers me with this team. It just you can't really coach the little things as far as rebounding. You can't really coach as far as being in the right position defensively. You can draw it up schematically, but the execution is always it's never there when it comes. As soon as that third quarter hits, the execution sometimes is very they lack that. And I get it. LeBron James didn't have a good night, like you said. Luka Doncic was really didn't really look comfortable getting to the spots that he necessarily needs to get to in order to be successful. Um, we thought that the Lakers bench can provide a little bit of production because Cavaliers, their guys were starting to click. They started to knock down shots, specifically Jalen Tyson, who we will discuss in a little bit.
He's been good.
He's been really good, man. I mean, I did not know this, but he was actually in the same draft class with Dalton Connect.
Oh, well, I did know that because I know he's a second-year player, but last year he did not do much for the Cavaliers. Like he was, he played some games. He was sort of at the back end of the rotation, but his impact was not that big last year. This year, man, he's been really, really good.
And so, should we be concerned that the Lakers, the way they lost this game against the Cavaliers, I feel like we should have a little bit of concerns because the Cavaliers were not at full strength. They were still mixing Max Strus, they were still missing Evan Mobley, and they're still missing their floor general Darius Garland. And the Lakers got out there and they got popped, man, and they did not respond well. Like, and JJ Redick went out in post game saying that he got out coached, and He did. Simple as that. He did. The Cavaliers, like we said, they made the necessary adjustments. Donovan Mitchell started getting to his spots. And then, of course, what happens? Open looks left and right. And then I knew the game was starting to get really out of hand when Luka Doncic is getting picked at the half court, and then no one's getting back on defense. And then you just see the tone setter right there. The energy definitely shifted. And it just bothers me because this team – we've seen them at spurts in these past couple of games. Like, okay, we've seen glimpses of what they can do defensively when they're actually taking and exerting majority of their energy on the end of the floor, because there's no question that the Lakers can score with the best of these teams. But when it comes, they just do not rotate correctly. They do not rebound. They do not do the little things that separates themselves from other teams. And maybe I'm just overthinking this, but it does concern me that they lost this way to a Cavaliers team that were missing majority of their guys.
I think it's a combination of they often don't do some of the little things that they have to focus extra hard on. Like this is a team that does not have a big margin for error. We've talked about this a lot over the course of this season. They have very exploitable weaknesses. And in some respects, like when it comes to athleticism and speed and basically defense across the roster, like there's only so good they can be on over the course of 48 minutes. A lot of that is going to be dictated by their own effort, their own focus, their own attention to details. This was a game where we saw Cleveland getting to 50-50 balls all the time, like beating them to spots. That is in part because Cleveland is the more athletic, dynamic, faster team. It's also, I think, in part, they were playing harder during certain parts of this game than the Lakers. And again, I think the LeBron, and I want to make this clear, I'm not, because this could be very easily misinterpreted. I'm not faulting LeBron for this loss. Like, other than Luka and I guess in his own right, Gabe Vincent, I don't think anybody played particularly well for the Lakers. But I think the entire atmosphere and the singularity and the vibe of what was going on affecting LeBron in this game for very understandable human reasons, I think there's a trickle-down effect because LeBron affects so much of what's happening. Again, I don't think he came into this game expecting to be affected the way he was.
For sure. And I just going to shift over just a little bit. So we understand what happened in that game last night against the Cavaliers. And then you see the post game and you see our very own George Sedano interviewing Jalen Tyson. And a lot of people were going crazy over this on social media in his comments as far as like, this is Donovan Mitchell's city now. This is, we're pretty much saying that this is his time to kind of take over the reins of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And a lot of people didn't really take that greatly, especially the emotions and stuff like that, that this could possibly be LeBron's last time playing in Cleveland. I thought, honestly, it wasn't that big of a deal because he addressed more of it going into, when he actually was on the actual podium and saying like, look, I meant no disrespect. Like, I'm a big fan of LeBron. Like, he's young. The emotions caught him high. He already said that, LeBron was one of his favorite players growing up. He has high respect for him. So it's like, I don't understand why it needed to get blown up like that, but I do understand because that's just how our world is as far as social media. They take any little thing and they make it so big. So,
I mean, it is Donovan Mitchell's city right now because he is an employee of the Cavaliers representing Cleveland. LeBron is not. Like, LeBron will always have a place in Cleveland sports lore and love from that city. I mean, we saw last night the reaction to him from the crowd was big, loud, all love. Like, they still love him there. It's not like the first time he left Cleveland where there was animosity. The second time he left, everybody understood. It's been great ever since. So, like, that doesn't go away. And, if LeBron did return to Cleveland for one more stint with the Cavaliers, maybe the dynamic shifts to some degree. Like, and I think that is in and of itself something Cleveland has to consider if they are thinking about a reunion with LeBron. Just LeBron is you don't just drop LeBron into what you're doing and everything just moves forward the way it was. Like, no. But, like, it is Donovan Mitchell's team right now. It is his city right now. And if we're all being honest, Donovan Mitchell at this stage of his career is a better player than LeBron. He should be. He's like, what, 12, 15 years younger than LeBron?
Exactly.
He should be better. Like, the fact that LeBron is still this good at this age, like, it's a testament to everything we know about LeBron. But, like, in the same way Luka is better than LeBron, he should be. Like, frankly, a lot of other guys around the league should be better than LeBron, and they're not. That speaks more about them in certain respects than LeBron.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, it's Donovan Mitchell's team right now. If it's not Donovan Mitchell's team, then at this point, Cleveland really needs to be asking, what are we doing?
they really need to go out there and start fighting some real assets if that's the case.
I mean, if it's not Donovan Mitchell's team, then it needs to be Evan Mobley's team. And if it's not Evan Mobley or Donovan Mitchell's team /city/franchise, then Cleveland has a lot of soul searching to be doing.
Exactly. By the way, Parker just said there's something, and this is a testament to I can't wait for Austin Reeves to get back in this Lakers lineup. He sent us as far as the minutes that Luka and LeBron have been playing. And let's just say that the workload for those two are a lot. And I just can't wait for Austin Reeves to get back into the mix because it will just generally help out this spacing aspect of this offense. I know they're still going to have their flaws on the defensive end of the floor, but I just really, really can't wait to see all three of them on the basketball court because we really have not seen much of that this season.
They've played 8 games together this season. And honestly, there isn't even a whole lot of carryover from last season because Luka arrived in late January. I believe that's when it was, either late January or early February. And, it was pre-trade deadline. He was injured at the time. And LeBron missed some games after Luka was finally on the court. Like, there's not a lot of continuity and carryover. It's like you look at Denver, for example. One of the reasons, I know Jokic is out now, but one of the reasons they were able to withstand the early absences of Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown and Cam Johnson not really living up to what Denver had hoped for is Jokic and Murray have played together for so long. Their chemistry and continuity can paper over a lot of problems. Luka and LeBron do not have that chemistry for a variety of reasons, but it doesn't exist.
Exactly. So in regards to LeBron and, the whole thing as far as where he's going to finish his career off, where is he going to be going in the summer? Is he going to finish it with the Lakers, the Cavs? Or is there going to be someone else that's in LeBron James sweepstakes? So Wendy made some comments on Get Up this morning. I'm going to talk to you about that on the other side. And also I got some different trade scenarios that I discussed on yesterday's episode I want to present to you. But before we do any of that, I got to let my partners at Pachanga give you guys a quick word.
At Pachanga Resort Casino, you can rock and roll, sip and slide, twist and shout. Play your perfect combination at Pachanga Resort Casino, official Indian gaming sponsor of the Lakers.
What is going on? Welcome back to Lakers Talk Daily. I got Andy Kamenetzky. I believe you're going to be on Mason, Ireland,
I
correct?
will.
That's
Right
right.
now, Emily's looking at her watch right now, going tick tock, tick tock. Pre-show meeting.
Hey, look, Emily, I'm sorry. Just give us a couple more minutes. I got my guy AK on, man. We gotta discuss this Lakers news, man, because there's a lot of stuff that's going around with the Lakers. In regards to that, Wendy was on Get Up this morning, and he was actually on the Sedano and Cap morning show yesterday, and they were just asking him about LeBron and where he could potentially be finishing his career off, and that and he hopes that the Rob Pelinka and the Lakers front office work hand in hand and actually compliment LeBron and present them their plan. They hope that they can give him the proper send off that he truly deserves. But what he said in Get Up was was interesting to me because LeBron James has been a max player for a decade. He has not been under a max contract for a very, very long time.
He's been
So
basically getting paid the max that he can get paid since he's been off a rookie scale deal. I know he took slight haircuts with Miami, but for all intents and purposes, he's been on a max deal, the max he can get paid ever since his first extension in the NBA.
that is wild to me. But Whitney pretty much said that those comments he made on the Sedano and Cap morning show, then he was on Get Up this morning, and he was saying that whichever destination, if LeBron were to continue to play, and he was saying that whatever team he goes to, LeBron James is most likely going to have to take a pay cut. He is going to have to take a pay cut because if he were to go to Cleveland, we were talking about it, that the salaries wouldn't just add up because Cleveland's over the second apron. They don't really have that much wiggle room to be able to give him the money that he probably wants to get. And then in regards to the Lakers, he made comments that the Lakers are going to be aggressive to probably ask him to take a pay cut as well, just so they can complement the roster around Luka Doncic. Because if LeBron James is going to be taking a lot of money, said if he goes into this offseason and wanting to return with the Lakers, then that doesn't give the room necessary for the Lakers to design what they need to build around Luka Doncic. So in regards to that, how do you feel about this? I know it's still a ways away, but this approach about the Lakers going to ask LeBron to take a pay cut just so they can complement the roster necessary for Luka Doncic. How do you feel about all this?
They have to. I mean, this to me it's in a lot of ways, it's a story in the sense that everything LeBron does is a story. It's a non-story in the sense that there's no other way of doing this. If they weren't planning on doing that, should LeBron return, then they would have just given him another 1+1 at his current salary. It is front office malpractice to give LeBron another contract anywhere close to what he's currently making right now at his age, at his mileage, with his injury concerns. He's at a stage in his career where I know he can still take over a quarter of a game. He can still at times maybe even take over half of a game, something like that. But you can't count on it on a game-to-game basis. And frankly, you're trying to have LeBron do as little as he can over the course of 82 games in order to keep it fresh for the playoffs. You can't have a guy making $50 million that you're trying to lessen his workload. Luka, they're trying to make things easier for him in the sense that you want to give him as many weapons as possible, but they want Luka going Luka every game if possible. Same thing once Austin Reeves starts getting, he's no longer best bargain in the league conversation. They're going to be wanting Austin to go Austin as many games as possible, however you define going Austin. With LeBron, you're trying to ease his load. You can't do that, but also give him $50 million. If LeBron wants $50-ish million, he better wrap his head around being a net, because I don't know anyone else that can do this. I don't know if anybody else could even pay LeBron that if they wanted to, but you can't do it.
And I feel like he understands at this point of his career that he probably is going to have to go in there that mindset that I'm going to have to take a pay cut, just because a lot of majority of teams are not going to be able to pay him the money that he probably feels like he deserves still at this age.
Even if they could, it's a terrible idea.
It is.
Forget the idea of being able to. It's a bad idea, even if you can somehow manufacture cap space or move players. It's a bad idea regardless.
So transitioning from the summertime, because right now we got to focus on the present. Everyone is uh, still has that mindset that Lakers are going to be aggressive come the trade deadline, that they need to make moves. They need to do it now with this small window that they have of LeBron James playing at the best of his career at the age of 41. They got Luka Doncic at the prime of his career. And then, of course, Austin Reeves going to be back in the mix. So Brad Turner was on, he wrote an article on LA Times in regards to different trade targets that the Lakers could possibly be aggressive at come the trade deadline. And he had a couple of names I read off yesterday. I'm going to present it to you. One of them was Cleveland Cavaliers forward DeAndre Hunter, which would make sense in the as far as his ability to defend.
He had a nice audition last night.
He had a really nice audition last night. I literally was sending in the group chats, and I'm all like, "Hey, Lakers, you better go ahead and just see what you can do right now, because the way he was shooting last night off the dribble, he was getting to the paint. I'm like, he's not only just a spotter shooter, he was beating guys off the dribble. So he was also able to play a different type of way that can help a Lakers team like this. But his ability to defend and him being that wing guy that the Lakers so desperately need was one of the names that came up. I think it will be ideal and realistic. I'm still gonna before I finish that up, I want to say this, that I'm still on the stance that the Lakers shouldn't do anything come trade deadline. I feel like they should just stay put, ride this season out, and have a proper plan going into the offseason to figure out how you can build the best team around Luka Doncic. And, of course, I have a strong feeling that Austin Reeves is going to be back in the Lakers uniform. So the first name, of course, is DeAndre Hunter. Any quick thoughts on that?
Depends on – I mean, for me, it depends. There's two questions. What are you giving up? But also, do you want DeAndre Hunter on this team next year? And this, in a lot of ways, is my answer for any other name you're going to bring up. Because I think what they should be doing, if possible, is to start trying to build next year's team now. Mm-hmm. And if you like the idea of DeAndre Hunter or player X on the team next year or over the next 2 or 3 years, then the answer is try to bring in that guy, if possible, assuming the price is right, whatever. What I don't think they should do, basically under any circumstances, is make a move that prioritizes this season over the future with Luka, like next season, the next 3 or 4 seasons. Like, this is not an go all-in team. Like, this is not an all-in roster. This is not a make an all-in. Like, generally speaking, you do that for teams that are like one move away, that feel one move away. Teams that are one move away do not have negative point differentials. Like, this is not a one move away team. So my basic thought is no trade should be made that prioritizes this season over next season or the next 3 or 4 seasons with Luka. If you bring in somebody that you like Keon Ellis, I know was in BT's piece. Yeah. Keon Ellis has been connected to the Lakers for a while. The Kings are clearly not connected to him.
By the way, the Kings have like 5 guards. They need to offload one of those.
Right, and they have been pretty outwardly not. They're not connected to. I'm trying to think of a better word than connected, but they're not invested in Keon Ellis. Mm-hmm. If you can bring in Keon Ellis at a reasonable price, he is somebody to me that makes sense over the next 3 or 4 years with Luka. He can hit threes. He can defend. He's not a perfect player, but he's also not going to cost you an arm and a leg. I don't know if I'd give up a first-round pick for him, certainly not an unprotected first. No. But if you can work some type of reasonable deal for Keon Ellis, bring him in because he makes sense moving forward. To me, counterexample, a guy like Andrew Wiggins, who I know not as much lately, but had been connected to the Lakers, he doesn't really make sense to me moving forward because he's already at the backside of his prime. He's like 31. He'll be 32 next year. You're starting to see a bit of effects of age. I certainly don't want to extend him unless you can bring in Andrew Wiggins for all just expiring money and maybe like Dalton or a second, something like that. That to me feels like a move that's more about this season. I don't want to make those moves.
And so the reason why I bring this up is because it just came to my mind that McMenamin went out and he was talking about how Mark Walter and that the new ownership group is looking at this Lakers team and how they're playing this season. And we're seeing the Dodgers' success, winning back-to-back World Series titles. And I know 2 totally different sports. There's no salary cap in MLB. They're allowed to do all these different deals. And we're seeing what the Dodgers are doing. They have the philosophy that they're ruining the sport. Whatever, that's deep in the wounds. But his point was that Mark Walter's looking at this is that Lakers need to be aggressive. This is Rob Pelinka's job, that they need to be aggressive because of what the Dodgers are doing in the offseason and how they're acquiring all these different assets. Again, two totally different sports. There's second apron, the salary cap, and all that stuff in the NBA does not work hand in hand as far as what baseball can do. But his point is, if the Lakers are not aggressive, if they're not making a push to get someone to complement this roster to win now, then a lot of faces are going to be looking at Rob Pelinka and they're going to really be hard on him come this offseason. So that's why
Mark Walter has the ability to fire Rob Pelinka if he wants. You know what I mean? Like Mark Walter should just tell Rob what he wants. If he's testing Rob Pelinka to see what Rob does, to me, that's kind of passive aggressive and unnecessary. I mean, Mark Walter's been a minority owner of the team for a while. He's familiar with Rob. So I just feel like if he wants them to be super aggressive now, like all in now, then just tell Rob to go do that. I don't think it makes sense, but I'm also not the owner of this team. But I feel like the idea of Rob would need to do this in order to save his job or impress Mark Walter, make an impression. Mark Walter's been around the team for a while. He probably already has a pretty good idea of who Pelinka is. He's just tell Rob what to do.
Exactly. And I just feel like it's like comparing the Dodgers to the Lakers right now. I get it. The sports of LA, the Dodgers. And then the Lakers don't have the real assets to acquire someone like that to get him over the hump.
It also took several years for the Dodgers to reach the point where they are now. Like they didn't Mark Walter didn't, and his group didn't purchase the team, and the Dodgers won a World Series the next year. Like this stuff takes time. I think Mark Walter is smart enough to realize that this stuff takes time.
And I hope that the Lakers are seeing that it's going to take time, because there's no need to be that damn aggressive during the trade deadline. And I saw other two names. One of them, which was like hell no to me, was Najee Marshall from the Dallas Mavericks. That was an absolute.
What the Mavericks are going to ask from the Lakers right now, like the Lakers in the aftermath of this, like they're probably going to ask for Luka.
Exactly. They're going to give us Luka Doncic back, and we'll give you Max Christie in a couple of minutes.
I want Rob to make the call just because I want it to be leaked what Dallas was asking for.
And then, of course, you still got the Troy Murphy. They don't
have enough right.
I lost a little connection. Sorry about that.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm back. But what were you saying? I'm sorry.
I was saying the Lakers don't have enough to get Trey Murphy right now. I don't think. I would be stunned if they could manage to put out the best offer for Trey Murphy right now. Maybe in the summer when they have access to 3 draft picks, we shall see. I would find it stunning if they could get Trey Murphy now.
Man, so like I said, I'm still gonna stay in that stance. I feel like we and you are kind of aligned with this as far as Lakers should not do anything come the trade deadline. But to your point, if there's someone that they can acquire that is on the same timeline with Luka Doncic, then of course listen to the offer and see what you can do. One last thing, I want to try to throw this in there because I know we're running out of time, but the Giannis sweepstakes.
I was going to say Emily's going to murder me.
Okay, you know what? Let's just close it out there, because I don't want Emily to go on your head and stuff like that. And I already know you.
I'm going to have her go to your head.
Yeah, exactly. But AK, of course, I appreciate you joining me on Lakers Talk Daily. You guys can catch him on Mason Island. He will be in for Ireland, so go ahead and be ready for that. But as always, Lakers lost last night to the Cleveland Cavaliers, 129-99. They got the Washington Wizards tomorrow in DC. Hopefully the Lakers can get back into the winning column and finish off their road trip on a good note. But as always, from me, myself, got Andy Kamenetzky. I'll be talking to you guys tomorrow. We out.
All right, dude.
All right, AK. Thank you, AK.